Hello, Anne.
Hello, Roma.
Uh, I'm very glad to see you, and thank you very much. You agree for this conversation. And the first thing I would like to tell you that I met you in 1995 in Jerusalem. So I know you since then. You participate in Jerusalem Homeopathic Conference. So it's 25 years.
Wow, what a long time, right?
Yes. And actually, I just was a beginner then, and you were already very well-known homeopath. When you started your homeopathy, when you started your practice?
I mean, actually, I was, this is my second profession to be a homeopath. In the first profession, I was a teacher in school, in secondary school. And something very specific happened that I changed into homeopathy. I can tell you something about it if you want me to.
Yes, it's very interesting,
I mean, I was a teacher in school, and one year I got a class with a very, very difficult student. The student was 16 years old in a very difficult situation, life situation. So, and all my colleagues said, oh my God, this is such a strange guy. But by that time I was young, and I immediately tried to catch him. And we began a kind of interaction with each other, because he wanted to learn, but he had no chance. The life circumstances were very, very difficult. So, and I helped him to learn. By that time, I had two little tiny children. They were waiting for me constantly after school. And so I had another boy, and this was a 16-year-old boy, but I helped him. And the whole, all my teachers, we tried to help this guy. And my colleagues, my fellow colleagues. And it was very good. It was very good. But it was a lot of burden for me to have a third child like this boy, and nobody should know about his life situations. And he began to tell me about a dream. Every break when I was at when I was alone, he came and he told me about a dream. In this dream, he was falling into a huge hole. And at the end of the hole, there was a candle. And I was very naive. And I said, okay, follow this candle. I mean, you will get better. It will help you, all these positive thinkings. And he said, every month he came and he said, I get this dream repeatedly. And the candle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. I remember it was in May, I went to the principal and I said, we need to have a psychotherapist for this guy. And this is a boy, he's a Turkish boy, and he needs a man for this. And the principal said, okay, we will try to arrange this, but it shouldn't cost money, should be for free, how it is in those kind of backgrounds. And then finally we got someone for September, and then summer holidays began. In these summer holidays, the last day, my children were waiting for me to go home to begin with the holidays. And then this boy came and said, what shall I do the next 6 weeks? Oh, I said, you study, next year will be the last year in school. You have to want to have a good examination. I will help you next year. But I saw him being very sad. And when the school began in September, after the 6 weeks of holiday, the boy had committed suicide. And in that moment, I understood that I can't have 30 students in school. So, and I said, okay, I I have to do something else. I have to learn something in order to help the young generation. And I had to finish another year in school before I could begin with it. And I began with training as a psychotherapist. Yeah, because I wanted to help the young people in the situation when they are in a disbalance, right? In Germany, in order to work independently, you have to have a certain kind of examination, and this I passed. We call it the Heilpraktiker examination, in order to work as a psychotherapist. But in this training, I found homeopathy, and I understood that this is a perfect match, homeopathy and psychotherapy. Without it, you can only talk to people, but with homeopathy, you can give the homeopathic remedy a chance to work by itself, to work independently from your own being as a therapist. As a therapist, you have to guide them in a way. But this I learned, yeah. And so this was 1986 when I began with my own practice. 87, I began with my own practice. 86, 87. So, yes.
So, quite a story, huh?
Yeah, but this helped me in a way because I understood where the direction is. You have to understand your direction. And this is still the same, you know, still I'm guiding people. Recently, a patient, I was talking to her and I said, you know, we never found the right remedy for you. And then she said, oh, don't worry about it. You are navigating me through my life. Oh, I said, this is an interesting sentence. Tell me about navigation. Yeah. And then she said, I mean, navigating, I just said it, she said. So I said, how is it when you get navigated? Then she said, I put my destiny into the navigator machine, and then the navigator follows me. Even if he guides me, he follows me. And I like this expression very much, that you navigate people through their life. When they turn right and you believe it's not the right direction, they shouldn't go left, but then you follow them, even if they go into the wrong direction, because you say, okay, this is the direction they selected. But they finally have set the destination, the final destination. Yeah.
And it's interesting to know who was your navigator in homeopathy? I mean, who was or who were your first teachers in homeopathy?
Yeah, the first I learned with Vitulkas, research Vitulkas. I went to all these international congresses. It was in Den Haag, and he came to Germany finally. First, I've seen only the international seminars. But then one day it was, I mean, I began in 86 going to international seminars. But then in 90, it was around 90, by chance, I was in London, and there I saw a sign, Rajan Sankaran University City Hall. Yeah. And I went to this seminar. I said, okay, let's give it a chance, a whole weekend to see Rajan Sankaran. And I saw him, a huge hall, 500 people by that time. Even England had so many students. And Rajan sitting in the middle. And when I saw him first, I know this is the right person to learn from. This is my destiny. Because he said, I mean, he said, Rajan said, I saw this patient and I did not know what to give. I mean, when you begin with homeopathy, you have no clue what to do, isn't it right? You learn something, you have certain kind of training, etc. But then the patient is sitting there. There is no one there to help you. And when I heard Rajan saying this, I understood this is what I want. I don't want that I know already everything. If you know, because wisdom means I don't know. But already by that time I knew wisdom means you don't know. So, and I said, so now I'm seeing a wise person. I'm seeing the first wise person in homeopathy.
It's kind of to be ready for kind of experience, to be helplessness. If you want to help somebody, you start your meeting with person with I don't know, I'm helpless now, and maybe it will happen. But before we start, we have to be ready to be helplessness and zero, I don't know. Interesting.
Yeah. The only thing is what you have to do, you have to be curious to say, but when I go to somewhere, and you know, this is what, when I learned in the beginning of the 80s, when I learned like a sulfur type, the different types in homeopathy. What is a sulfur type? This is natrium muriaticum type. In this moment, you judge someone. You see someone sitting in the train. You think, oh, this could be sulfur because he had so many spots on his cloth, or something like this. I mean, in a way, you're prejudiced, and this is what I learned through homeopathy, to be without prejudice, or to get rid of your prejudice. Without, it's impossible, because you first have a prejudice, but then you get rid of it and you say, aha, okay, let's be curious. So, and prejudice means I know already the answer, I know your cure. No, not at all. I'm just following you. You have set your destination and I'm following you on your path through life. Yeah. And this is what I'm doing, still doing for 6 days a week, the last 35 years.
Nice. And I remember the first case, actually it was a really first case which struck me very, very much. It was your case you presented in Jerusalem. And I still remember it. It was a case of a lady with a very severe depression. And finally she went to, I think, South America. And then she followed her path because some force brought her to South America. And she didn't realize why. But when she came to some place and took some tree with Indians, with songs of coca, she realized that this force brought her to become healthy. Do you remember this case?
Yeah. Still, I don't remember the story completely anymore.
I remember it for 25 years. And actually, even maybe I have in some place this music you played in the seminar when this lady she sung.
Singing it. She was singing it, right? This was a very sad song, wasn't it? Yeah.
It was really very specific song. And then she was in German, and she was singing this song in German. And what is the relation between woman in German and some place in South America? I don't remember. I think in Brazil maybe, with people who are rising mountains, and every time they stop, they drink this drink from leaves of coca, and they sing the same song. They in America, what was produced in brain of this woman in Germany. What is this? Can you explain now, after these 35 years of your experience, what is this?
I believe that everybody follows his own path. And due to my understanding to follow people on their path, I mean, I got out of a lot of patients their own stories, and their experience is like as if you experience life more in a wider range. You learn more. I mean, for example, this woman, I learned how an Indian in Indian feels when he walks, or an Inca feels when he walks up into into the mountains and suffers and has to suffer, nothing to eat, etc. All this suffering, I mean, this is what I learned. I mean, it's not an intellectual understanding, it's more the feeling people feel in their life. It's like you expand your own experience. I can't walk, I can't hike high up in the mountains, but in that moment I experience with the patient their life experience. I learn more. This is one of the reasons why I'm 73, you know, I'm not so young anymore, but I still will continue up to the end of my life as long as I am healthy enough, because I learn about the world. I don't want to see it all with my eyes, yeah, like people go and travel, want to see everything, every destination, every country. I want to feel, and I feel it through people, through human beings who experience this in their life.
It is so interesting. We discussed with my friends, we arranged the first online conference on provings, and you participated in it about 2 weeks ago. And we discussed with my friend Svetlana Dmitry Popov and Alexander Fakiev that this is one of the cheapest and effective way to learn what's going on in this planet, and maybe even beyond homeopathic provings. And what you are telling now, it's like homeopaths, they are in a journey constantly, and they can be in a journey with their patients and during provings, and maybe even through other aspects of their lives. I mean, we are very lucky people. We have such amazing profession.
I agree completely. And even this Corona crisis now offers it even more, you know. If this now that we are able to have Zoom sessions that we knew already, I used to say the Corona crisis could only appear until in that moment we had all the technical equipment everywhere around the world. Otherwise, we would be completely forsaken in every country. So, but we are not. And this is even for homeopath is even better, even cheaper in a way. I don't have to travel. All the others don't have to travel. Huh? It means, okay, we are missing some kind of personal relationship, but perhaps we can build this up too, yeah, with our deeper understanding. We have to follow something deeper in us.
It's kind of discovering new field. It's not that we will replace our personal communications, contacts, hugs. We hope to meet and to continue life as it, but I think that we have a really good possibility to discover new realm, maybe.
Yeah, right, right. And the discovery is something you have to feel. I mean, for me, it's important to feel it. Yeah, to feel people, to feel the world, you know, and how to feel the world. I don't need necessarily to be there. Yeah.
Anya, how you feel this world changed because of Corona? What is your feeling? What are your feelings about this?
I am, you know, at the beginning, you know, as a homeopath, let's say it like this. As a homeopath, you just look at what is going on. You don't interfere, you don't judge, you don't interpret it in a intellectual way. You just see. What I learned is, first I learned is that this is not something like AIDS, for example, is in Africa, or more or less with homosexual in homosexual situation, more or less. Ebola was in Africa too. So I mean, but until now we had epidemics only on certain parts. But now we have something. This is what I saw first. Oh, why is this going around the whole world? So this is it must be something what is very unusual. We never had this before. It's like a world war. Yeah, it's like a world war. Then I heard the name Corona. I will talk a little bit in my presentation at the next conference too. Then I said the Corona. I mean, it has to be something very special. Corona is the shadow of the sun. We call the corona it's a kind of crown, or the shadow of the sun. It means it has to do with the sun and the shadow. So this was the first idea I got. And then I said, it's something what is almost invisible. Yeah. And it's going to change the whole world. I mean, what is the change? We have to lock down. We have to go to ourselves. We are not allowed to have huge contact. We have to, but it's not a war when you don't have anything to eat. We have enough to eat, you have enough to drink. I mean, the world is not going to fall to break into parts. So I said, so what is our process in it? I mean, if this is the sun and light, if we have the shadow and the light, and we have to look into ourselves, we have to understand our own shadow. What is here to learn for ourselves? I don't think it's bad that we are locked down. So we have to accept it. I called it how to see the light in the Corona crisis. Have you seen my video? I did put it on video, on a YouTube video. How to see the light. I will call it a kind of birth process for the world, because what we see now is the nature is getting help. You know, I have seen all these youngsters, Friday for Future movement, Greta Thunberg. She tried to help nature. She's saying nature is suffering. We are going to destroy the earth. But then this little tiny virus comes and stops it. No airplane, nothing. So it means for me, it has a meaning. If something happened, it has a meaning. So, and that's why I said it's like a kind of birth process. Nature is helping itself. You know, we can't. This is what I learned. You know, all these youngsters, they couldn't help because the governments thought what to do, etc. But it did not help. And it was short before a difficult time, let's say it like this. So and that's why I'm not judging and saying this is bad and this is etc. I take it as a chance for us, and I call it a birth process of the new generation. And you know, when I have 2 children, so I know how it is to give birth. Yeah, it's like the baby has to bow the head and say, okay, I give in now. If the baby stands in, the woman says, I won't give in, then we have a cesarean section, yes? But if the baby bows, and so all people around me, I said, bow your head to the new world. Accept it, and it will come.
It's interesting that there are so many things, new things are coming, and even in the homeopathic field. And I will come a little bit later to a new adventure we are planning, and we will invite you in this adventure as well. But before goes there, I would like to ask you, do you remember your first proving you arranged?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah,
What was this proving about, and what was your experience about?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I have to go back to the to meeting Sankaran in London, because at this seminar, you know, I met a very interesting experience. Not only that I met the person I'm going to follow for the future, yeah, but I met Jeremy Sher. Because you see, very strange. It was a huge seminar, and the organizer said all the foreigners are invited to a reception, yeah. And so I came to this reception because I was a foreigner. I'm German. Was German in England. I came to the reception, and there all the English homeopaths were sitting around. Francis Troyes, Jeremy Sher, Robert Savage. No, okay. All the and for sure Rajan Sankaran. And after the reception, I talked to Jeremy about provings, and he, in a way, infected me. It was a kind of infection to provings. He said, you know, we homeopaths, we got so much from our predecessors, or the homeopaths lived before us, and we have to give something back. I completely agreed. I said, sure. We can't live only from the old provings. We have to add something to homeopathy in order to make it alive. And when I came home, I was wondering, I was asking myself how I began. I mean, the organon is written in German. And in school, in my previous life, yeah, as a teacher in school, I was used to deal with German language. Yeah, I mean, German language and the old German language, it's difficult to understand. But I could understand it because this is part of my training. So. And so I studied the organon and tried to find out what is the rhythm, what goes through the organon, what is the understanding. And I studied about Hahnemann's provings. Why did he select different kind of remedies? And we know this. Why did he select lycopodium? Huh? Why, you know why he selected lycopodium?
Please remind me.
Yeah, all the substances like digitalis and all the poisoned the plant extracts, they were put on lycopodium powder because lycopodium is inert, we call it. It doesn't take anything. It is not neutral, you know. So but everybody who got one of the plant remedies had to take lycopodium. So it means it will if you take something constantly, if you are constantly forced with something, or if you are constantly together with something, it will affect you. Why did he prove mercurius? We know, because syphilis was cured with mercurius. Why did he take arsenicosum? Because the wine was full of arsenic or sulfur, etc. So, and when I understood this, I wondered, what is the situation now? And it was in 1992. So I said, what is the situation of the world now? This is the same as I said with Corona. What is the situation of the world? So I said 1992, what is the situation of the world? Where do I see what is the situation of the world? I see it in the newspapers. Yeah. Because what we are talking about is news, right? What is new in the world? The news. So, and by that time, all the newspapers were full of ozone, of the that ozone, what was before protecting the world around us, is now due to the destruction of the ozone layer, is now on Earth. So I wondered, if this is now on Earth, what was high above in the stratosphere by that time, what is now on Earth is going to make us sick. So we should prove ozone. And this is how I began with ozone. My first proving of ozone. And all my provings afterwards were only done with this understanding.
What is going on now? What is now? What should be?
I will talk. I will talk on the on my presentation about my latest proving, what I selected for Corona. I mean, you know, go back to all my other provings. The first proving was of ozone. Then the next proving, I had no clue what to do. It's not, I don't select it out of my own brain. I select it out of observation, because we have to observe the world, right? Yeah, as homeopaths. So my second observation was that I got so many patients who were on lithium, yeah, manic depressed people who had to take lithium. So I wondered if now so many, because lithium was came into the medical treatment after World War II. Yeah, so it was not, mankind was not really used to for the intake of lithium, yeah, what they do nowadays. So I was wondering, if these people get children, we will have a new miasm by that time. I thought of miasms in a way, in this way. So I said, why don't I try to understand what is the remedy lithium carbonicum? I tried lithium carbonicum because carbon is not so prominent. If I would have taken lithium metallicum, oh, I didn't get it by that time. It was, I mean, we had other times, you know. Yes. So, and that's why I proved lithium carbonicum. This was the next remedy. I had some people with dementia, because I was called, so what is the dementia plant? In my understanding by that time, it was ginkgo plant. Yeah. So I proved ginkgo biloba. This is all what I'm doing. I can explain all the provings with this understanding. Is the Hahnemannian understanding, not my own. I took it from Hahnemann. Yeah. I had to understand first why he did it.
Sorry, Anne. How many provings you conducted?
Yeah, I have conducted 7 real provings and published 7 provings, and I wanted to stop this. I said, this is it, 7. Okay. my last proving was a proving of the tourmalines, the gemstones. I mean, there is a prover who proved gemstone in Australia, but he did. But I wanted to break the stone. For me, it was, he proved immersions. You know, put stones, gemstones in water and proved it. But I want to break the stones. But this, I mean, I can talk for hours why I had to break it, because it is the understanding of breaking something is to open something. This is what I see now. Even it breaks open in a way. Yeah. Wow. The world is going to open up.
So actually, it was an 8 proving, or altogether.
8? The 8th proving. No, the 7th proving was a proving of the tourmaline, but I did not prove only one. I just proved. I began with 1 tourmaline, but from the 1 tourmaline, I proved another 7 of the.
So you went to another spiral.
But you know, and then I said, "This is it. Full stop. I have done enough."
No, it will not stop ever.
No.
You know what? Now I'm going to tell you something very interesting. I believe will be interesting for you, and I will invite you in some adventure as well. Mm-hmm. We are going to arrange first international online proving. It means we are going to invite different groups of provers from different countries, from different cultures, from different places in this planet. And we are going to do this proving together at the same time with the same substance, in the same manner. And few minutes before we started this conversation, I received an email from Jeremy Scherer, who agreed to be the main consultant of this project, of this proving. And I'm very pleased and honored to invite you to participate in this proving as well.
Yeah, sure. You know, did Jeremy tell you what happened? You know, I said I have this 7 provings, full stop. Yeah, 7, and then from the last another 7. Okay, but this is something else. But then the Corona crisis began. I have a group of students here in Munich or in the area around, and we did Zoom sessions. Instead of meeting us, you know, because we were not allowed to meet us. So, and I said, you know, normally I give supervision on their cases, you know, they show me their cases and I supervise cases the last 10 years, yeah, with all my experience, I can do this. Okay, so when I said, you know, we are not going to do supervision now, I would like to understand what is life in this Corona crisis. We talked about the situation that is, I told them that this is in the new world, I mean, a new world experience. And I said that when we have to see what is the energy floating around, I'm not interested in finding the genius epidemicus. Because this everybody does, you know, they do all, you know, they meet, I'm not interested in it at all. I just want to understand with our homeopathic understanding, what is the energy around us. So, and everybody from the whole group, 28 or 29 people, had to say what to think. So we first thought which kingdom we are going to select, you know, which kingdom, and then which sub kingdom, etc. And finally we ended up with the fungi, yeah. with the group of the fungi, because this is not mineral, no, it's not and yes mineral, not and yes plant, not and yes animal, because it's both. So, and I said to the group, and it has to have light in it. It must be a fungus with light, because I see there is, because I have given a presentation, I have given my YouTube video on how can I see the light in the crisis. You know, I would like to see the light. I don't see the danger, not at all. So, and then we selected the reishi fungus. The reishi fungus.
Kingdom fungus.
Lingxi is the Chinese name. Reishi is Japanese. Ganoderma lucidum is the Latin name, and lucidum means light. Lucidum. Okay, you know, lucid dreams means you are aware in a dream. Ah, and I heard this name. I said, oh, because it came. I don't know, but then I told this to Jeremy, and he sent me. He came from a completely different angle to the same substance, and he did send me Camilla's proving symptoms. So I have conducted a proving with 15 people, 15 other students, and I'm writing it already. It's already in German, it's already almost done.
It is so interesting, you know. I'm belonging to the foundation. I'm working with Dr. Harry van der Zee and other colleagues in ARHF. Mm-hmm. And when Corona crisis started, we decided to make a document. So we worked on this document, and everybody was able and actually add to this document something. And I am now very tight, because one of my proposition was to add this fungi, this reishi fungi, to the list. And this is the list, and I didn't know that you made this. I will send you this list of recommendation. We have this recommendation on ARHF immune boost your immune system during the coronavirus recommendation in internet. So it's very.
You can use it as a substance, yeah, in
yes.
tea or something. But we triturized it, you know.
Really?
I have so many ideas. This was, yeah. It was because the Corona crisis appeared on Easter time. So I mean, this means something. Before we had Pesach, yeah, we had Pesach, and so I understood it has to do with Pesach and Easter, Christian Easter and Pesach, because with the Pesach process, when the Israelites had to go through the holy countries, we are now in this process. But we are still in the desert, you know, fighting with God, telling, what are you doing with us? You know, we want to go back to Egypt, to our slave, slave holders.
And actually, this will bring us the possibility to become free.
Yeah. But you know, we call it the first the first homeopathic cure, because you know, but you know it, huh? When they were crumbling when they were complaining in the desert, Moses went to the mountain, and God told him, put a snake, and all the people who were bitten, and look at the ehan. What is the name of ehan? The metal snake, and when they get bitten by the normal snakes and they look at the metal snake, they get cured. This is the first homeopathic cure. I mean, this happened in the desert, okay? So now we are in this desert area. You see, for me, everything has to fit. You understand what I mean?
Yes.
I mean, yeah.
So, Anna, we talked about so many things, and I looked at my list of questions, and I even didn't start to ask you actually. We have so many things to discuss.
Very good.
I hope we will continue. Now I would like to ask you, if we now in a desert, in a kind of journey from everybody's Egypt, we started in Pesach, and Easter, and we are going and looking for, we can say that we are looking for our life. For what else we are looking for?
I don't know. The word future in German is called Zukunft. Yeah, and this means Kunft. It will come. I mean, I like to leave it open, leave the future open to the universe. Have you ever thought that this little tiny virus will come and lock us down? I mean, so what can I tell you about what we are looking for? The only thing what I know is that something will open up. You know, in December last year, I wrote already an article about the paradigm change. The paradigm has to change. We have to understand that it's more than material life in this world. Up to now, most of the world is materialistic, yeah? But we have to see what is beyond the material world. And this is what is invisible. I mean, in a way, I studied Carl Gustav Jung, yeah? You know, this is a Swiss psychotherapist and psychiatrist. And he said, the conscious is very small. It's like a nut, like a little nut swimming on the sea of the unconscious. Or we can say it differently. My friends and me, we say 15 millimeters is our conscious and 15 kilometers the unconscious. And you see the difference of the distance. So, and we are swimming now.
So, and in the light of this sentence, I would like to finish this part of the talk with asking you for advice for those who begin homeopathy now, for those who are homeopaths already for a few years, for many years. What is your advice for your colleagues?
I mean, for me, the intention and why I do something is very important. It is, the intention is, if I could have different kind of intentions. One intention could be, I would like to cure someone. I would like to help someone. I would like to do something for myself. And I suggest to do this all together, but give up one thing alone. Just to understand yourself and then try to find your way of learning in homeopathy. because you have to, the learning has to be individual, because we homeopaths, we treat only the individuals, and we have to be individual ourselves. Don't take anybody, it should be as it is. Just be individual. Try to find yourself. Try to be balanced in yourself. And then read and learn and trust yourself. Not thinking, oh my God, I'm only in the beginner. How can I help? I mean, who knows? Okay. So this is what I tell all my students. If you trust yourself, then the people who come to you are coming because you can help them, even if you don't know anything. And this is what I learned in the beginning of my clinic, that I had to learn to trust myself, and then it will go.
It's so important and very nice thing to conclude and to finish this, our first talk. Anne Schadde, thank you so much for your time. And we will see each other very soon, I hope.
Okay, fine, good, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Have a nice time.